logged on to Go Meeting, and it appears to be a straightforward application. You need to download it. So we need to get in with enough time, at least the first time, so that we can log on properly. Hi.
Hello.
I'm the Spanish interpreter.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is it Jorge?
That's right.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Thank you for asking.
We'll be interpreting for Laura today.
Okay.
How is everyone this morning?
¿Cómo están todos?
Good morning. How's everybody?
Hi, Jennifer. Good
Good.
morning.
How are you? Good. Hello, Pat. Hello, Renata.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Am I saying your name correctly?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Renata, if you wouldn't mind, I know I have your email, but if you wouldn't mind putting it in the chat and a phone number if you'd like, that would be great.
Yes, perfect. I'll do that right now.
Thank you. And then Jorge, if you wouldn't mind putting the email or phone number in the chat box as well, that would be much appreciated.
Sure, and something else that we do in my office, anytime that there's any spellings, we usually type in the chat area for the benefit of everybody.
Okay, that's a great idea. Thank you. I'm not sure who that is. Who just joined? It looks like the name,
LaDeja.
LaDeja. Okay.
That's our Fabio intern.
Oh, Savio intern. Okay, great. Would you be able to put your full name and email and a phone number, if you'd like, into the chat box?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, when Laura gets joined, we will go ahead and get started, and then hopefully Stefan can join soon as well. And who just joined by phone? Is that you, Laura?
Yeah.
Okay, great. We do have Jorge here to interpret for you as well, just so you're aware. Jorge, if you want to introduce yourself.
Laura, hola, buenos días. Estoy aquí solamente para ayudarte en los momentos que llegues a necesitar ayuda. Muy bien.
Vale.
Okay.
Well, we will go ahead and get started if that's okay with everyone, just for the sake of time, and then hopefully Stefan is able to join at some point. I'll keep the meeting unlocked so that he's able to join when he arrives. Excuse me. So we will go ahead and I'll go over some ground rules for the meeting, and then we'll go around and do introduction so that everyone knows who's here. And then we will go over our agenda for the meeting as well. And who else just joined by phone?
Hi, Brittany. This is Julie. I'm having some computer issues, so I called in via phone today.
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting us know. Alrighty. And then Jorge, if you want to translate that for Laura.
Sure. My understanding is that she understands a lot of English and that she will feel a lot more comfortable if I was to be interpreting only at the times that she needs me, that she may say something. I'll be happy to interpret every single thing that has been said.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. If there's something that Laura's not sure of, then if she can just let you know, then we can use you that way. Does that work for everybody?
Laura, ¿le parece bien que hagamos eso? Que solamente interprete las partes que siente que necesita ayuda? Very well. And so once she says that she needs me, immediately I will jump in and just repeat everything that has been said. And if there's anything that she may be saying that is not very clear, the interpreter immediately will clarify that by repeating it, if it is a matter of syntax or what have you. Laura,
Okay.
Entonces lo que va a suceder En determinado momento, si necesitan que yo llegue a decir algo, que le repita a usted algo, lo voy a hacer inmediatamente. Y si hay algo, por alguna razón, que no se entienda muy bien, inmediatamente lo voy a repetir para que esté claramente lo que está diciendo. Si comete un error de sintaxis o alguna cosa así, ¿está bien?
Well, all right. Well, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining. My name is Brittany, and I'm going to be facilitating the meeting today. And just so everyone knows, I'll be taking notes in the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen if you're by video to summarize what we talk about. And then as we're going along, we have Sam here who's going to be compiling the notes into a report that'll be sent out after the family team meeting. Since we're virtual, we can only send that to parents, any court-appointed individuals, and department staff working with the family. So anyone else would need that forwarded on to them by one of those people. But I will just be going over some ground rules. So please be respectful of one another and only one person speak at a time. The purpose of the meeting is not for any blaming or shaming, but to talk about what the updates are in the case, discuss any barriers or worries, and come up with some next steps to move the case forward. Please try to be as present as you can. Everybody is an important part of the meeting, so please try to limit use of outside electronics and only be using those for case-specific needs. And please try to assume positive intent with everyone. So just try to understand where everyone is coming from because we all have different perspectives. Also, please try to be as transparent as you can. So just open and honest communication and no hidden agendas. If at any point during the meeting we need to take a break, please just let me know. And I would ask, I'm getting a little bit of feedback. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but if you're not speaking, if you wouldn't mind muting your microphone, just so everyone is able to hear. Yeah, and so also our meetings are child-centered, so the goal is for the children to be safe without the department involvement. So we'll be keeping their safety in mind at all times. And if at any point during the meeting we need to take a break, please just let me know, and we can definitely do that and set a time to come back together, give everyone a chance to collect their thoughts. We have about an hour and a half allotted for the meeting today. We might not need all that time, but it's there if we do. And if we come to a sticking point where we can't agree on something today, we can always make a next step to address that at the next court date, if this court has the final say. So now let's go ahead and have everyone introduce themselves. I'll do roll call so that not everyone is speaking at once. And I'll go ahead and start. Like I mentioned, my name is Brittany, and I'm not connected to the case in any way. I'm a neutral party here to help facilitate the discussion. So next we will go to Jana.
Gianna Atia, I'm the ongoing caseworker.
Thank you. Stefan.
Stefan Fredericksmeyer guardian ad litem for the minor children.
Great, thank you. Annie.
No further question.
Annie Martinez, mom's attorney.
Thank you. Pat.
Pat Franco, court-appointed special advocate, CASA.
Thank you. Olivia.
I'm Olivia. I'm the Savio therapist working with Laura.
Thank you. And I believe is it Ladeja? Am I saying that right?
Deja, I'm the Savio intern working with Laura, with Olivia.
Great, thank you. Jennifer.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Dillard, registered nurse with Tri-County Nurse Support Program, working with Laura.
Thank you. Julie.
Hi, this is Julie Heggie. I am Laura's life skills worker.
Thank you. Renata.
Hi, I'm Renata. I'm from the Child Placement Agency. I work with Kim and Scott.
Thank you. And Sam.
Hi, I'm Samantha. As Brittany just stated, I'm not party to the case. I'm here to support her. I'll be taking the meeting notes and compiling them later to create a report that'll be generated and sent out to everyone after the team meeting today. And so my camera's off so I can focus on the accuracy of the report.
Thank you, Sam. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about our agenda for the meeting today. I will just be going over some things that we will typically go over in meetings like this, but we can definitely add or change anything about the agenda. It's not set in stone. So we will be getting updates on treatment and services. We'll talk about updates on the children. We'll talk about parenting time. We'll talk about the family strengths and supports. Any barriers or worries in the case. We'll discuss court. And as we're going along, we'll be coming up with some next steps to move the case forward. Is there anything else that anyone wants to make sure to discuss today that is on the agenda, or anything to change about the agenda? Okay. Well then let's go ahead and start just with some updates on treatment and services. So Laura, would you be able to tell us a little bit about any kind of treatment that you're currently working on? You might be muted if you're speaking, Laura.
Yeah, well, the treatment is like therapy and all that, right?
Yeah, any therapy that you're doing, any classes, anything like that.
Well, yeah, I'm doing therapy and I'm working with the life skill nurses and Julie and stuff like that.
Okay. For your therapy, where are you doing that at?
We're doing it on Zoom.
Okay. Is it with Community Reach Center?
I forgot what it's
Okay. Gianna, do you know if her therapy is with CRC?
Her individual therapy is with Savio, with Olivia.
Okay. All right. How often do you meet with her, Laura?
Once a week.
Okay. And how's that going?
I think it's going pretty good, actually. Yeah. This helped me a lot, like, to learn about the stuff that I didn't know. Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Good. Would you be able to share a little bit about what kinds of things you're learning, or any goals that you're working on?
Like, we learned, or, like, right now we're working on, like a routine for the kids and stuff like that. Like, how can I, like, get fixed, my stuff fixed and stuff like that. And then we were learning, like, our five senses, or, like, if we're feeling stressed, how to calm down, or, like, or what stuff can I do, like, to calm down, stress, or, like, also, like, how to, like, talk to the kids if something's going on, or, yeah. Also, yeah, like, activities we can do and stuff like that.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that, Laura. Olivia, is there anything that you would want to add to that?
Yeah, Ladisha and I have been working with Laura since around August. So we've talked also about like bonding and attachment and ways to build that, as well as just some psychoeducation around trauma and trauma-informed parenting, and along with those things that Laura was talking about as well. As well as responding to when the kiddos are having trauma responses and ways to respond to that.
Okay, thank you, Olivia. LaDeja, is there anything that you would want to add to that?
No, I think that, yeah, that's covered it all. But we've been working more so like how trauma responses look in the different children, and how she can, like she was saying, different activities, mindfulness skills that she can utilize within herself, that she can model within her children, different emotional awareness or emotional regulation activities she can do with the children as well. So just a lot of things, as both Olivia and Laura both stated.
Okay, great, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Laura or Olivia or LaDeja on any of that treatment that they discussed with the therapy? No? Okay. Well, thank you all. Thank you for sharing all that. And Laura, it sounds like you're working on a lot of really great stuff. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said you're also working with Julie with life skills?
Yeah.
Okay. How often do you meet with her?
It depends, like we try to do it like once every week or once every 2. It's just, she had gotten sick last week, so we couldn't meet, but I think we talked on the phone. Yeah.
Do you guys usually meet in person?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what kinds of things do you guys work on?
Well, right now we're working on like getting all my stuff together, like for my car and stuff like that. And we talk about like about the kids and stuff, like how stuff's going, and yeah, like and stuff she could help me, what else she could help me and stuff like that.
Okay, great. Julie, anything you want to add to that?
Sure. Laura's actually been working really hard. We've had, in the last few months, she didn't have car insurance or a license or registration for her vehicle. So she has been able to get her permit, get insurance, and we're working on getting it registered. Because of COVID and the DMV, it's been difficult to get an appointment, actually get her physical license. So it's been slow going, but as soon as we're able to do it, she hops right on it. We've also been able to apply for SHOP so that we can try and get her into some expensive housing, just to kind of free up some money for her. And recently, she was able to get a job making more money than she was before, and it's closer to her house to minimize some of that risk of her having to drive. And then, just kind of on top of that, following up and helping her to understand the process of what's going on when she asks questions, and just kind of alleviate some of the concerns she has when, she's worried about something when it comes to the children, things like that.
Okay, great. That's awesome, Laura. Congratulations on getting that new job. Where are you working now, Laura?
It's taco place. Una taqueria.
What is it?
A taco place.
A taco place. It's like where, like a taqueria.
A taco place.
Okay.
You can also call it a taco parlor.
Taco parlor. Okay. Awesome. Anybody have any questions on life skills? Okay. Great. Well, we will. Laura, are you also working with Jennifer with the Tri-County Nurse Program?
Yeah.
Okay. How often do you meet with her?
Like also once a week, I believe, or yeah, or no, or yeah, everyone. Yeah, we were meeting every week, but yeah, well, good.
Okay, that's great. What kinds of things do you guys work on?
We were working on like also like on the kids and stuff, like how to treat them or like how to work with them and like bond with them. But right now we started on like self-care, like on me and stuff, like not like if I'm feeling down or if I feel like I'm not worth enough or stuff like that. How do I can feel better, like that I'm worth enough and I know that I can do stuff even though like I get put down and stuff like that stuff we're working on.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Laura. And Jennifer, anything you want to add?
I meet with Laura every 2 weeks, and I know it probably seems like more because she's so busy with meeting with everybody, but we have just started the curriculum that she was just talking about is the motherhood curriculum, and we just started with that, and we'll go through those exercises that help strengthen her and her resolve, and her beliefs about herself, and to kind of boost her up so she's able to accomplish all these amazing things.
Okay, great. That sounds like a awesome program that you guys are working on. Anyone have any questions for Jennifer or Laura on that? No? You guys are pretty quiet today. Okay. Anything else that you wanted to add, Jennifer? No? Okay. All right. And then, Laura, is there any other treatment that you're working on?
No, but I'm gonna start something else on Friday. Let me see. It was. I think I had an appointment for. Oh, I don't remember. I just remember it was gonna be 3 hours long from Lifelong.
With Lifelong?
Yeah.
Okay. Jana, do you know what she's referring to?
Yeah, that's probably the psychological evaluation we had put in the report. So they probably are getting in touch with her to try to schedule that intake assessment.
Okay, and then Annie had just posted something in the chat, so I'm just going to read that for everyone. She had shared that her question in general is that she sees that Laura is compliant, but there are concerns moving the case forward and expanding. And she asks, is she not internalizing? Does she need more? Do we need more financial support? What can we be doing better? Anybody have any thoughts on that? Jana or anybody else?
I think that Annie just made some good points. Mom is really doing a lot of positive things. I don't think there's any question about it. And she's making real serious effort, including, going all the way down to Colorado Springs. Has been once a week. My understanding is it's going to start to be twice a week real soon. Has that already started yet, Jen?
Yeah, today.
Today begins the first day of the Tuesday visits.
Okay. And so, I think the concern, and we had a pretty lengthy professional staffing with the county attorney's office a while back on this. And, the concern is that we have 4 young kids here, all of them extremely active, all of them with, therapeutic needs, no question about it. And obviously there's still that concern about, how the bones with regard to Armani were, why were broken. And those are the concerns that led to this case being opened. We may never know, but there's a lot of issues. And, the question is, at what point in time will we get to the point where the kids can be safely returned to mom? That's, I guess, ultimately the big question here. And that's one of the reasons why we're increasing the amount of visits. But also, I think that Jan has already put in a referral for a child find for a parent-child interactional. And I think we think that would be helpful. But this is a long process. This isn't a simple matter of one child. It's 4 children, all of them with needs, and all of them with a tremendous amount of energy. Great kids, but a tremendous amount of energy. So it's one of those kind of cases. It's just going to take a lot of patience on everybody's part. Hope that helps.
What is parent-child interactional?
Well, it's where the psychiatrist or psychologist, you put in a referral for Dr. Cordero, is that right, Jana?
Yes.
Where he'll watch the interaction, as the PCI name suggests, parent-child interaction. He watches the interaction in depth between the children. I don't know if he would do it individually with each child individually or all of them together. I'm not sure how he would do that, but he would watch that and make a lot of observations, and then he would put it all into a report form.
And then I'll just, I guess, kind of follow up. That's really helpful, and I'm glad to hear that what I'm hearing from Stephanie, I think hopefully the county's on the same page, is that we're still on the same track, even though it's a long track. I'll be very blunt with the foster parents intervening. That's really concerning, and I know how that can derail a case for a parent. And so that's kind of where I'm coming from, where I'm like, well, do we need to be more aggressive on my end and on Laura's end to fight that off? Honestly, I kind of want to put that out there for the group, as comfortable as they're able to, to feel to speak about this. Please be 100% honest with Laura and myself. This is not an individual who's, using substances or not trying. She can hear it and she needs to work with it. If there's more we need to be doing, please let us know, because I know what happens when foster parents intervene, and I'm concerned.
Well, and I understand your concerns. The foster parents are doing a wonderful job with these children. They're extremely vigilant. They're doing a fantastic job, and I don't know where this case is headed. I don't know. I wish I could be more specific, but I can't.
I think
Laura, one second. Sorry, I just want to check in with you, Laura. Is there anything that you're not understanding or anything that's unclear that you need interpreted from what we've been talking about, or are you okay?
Okay.
Okay, just wanted to check in. Sorry, go ahead, Pat.
I think the foster parents' involvement now comes from frustrations over visits over like 3 months. So there was like different issues, and they've all been addressed at this point. But there were things where they just thought the kids were they were advocating for the kids. I mean, the kids would come home acting out incredibly. There was concern about them getting sick, just a whole variety of things. And so I think they felt that they wanted to advocate for them, and that was the role that why they did that.
Well, I think that's one reason. Another reason is because I think that they are interested in adoption if it comes to that. So I think I'm not their attorney, but I think that if it got to the point where it became clear that for whatever reason or reasons we couldn't safely return the kids to Laura, even if it's through no fault of her own, but rather it's just such a huge amount of work on her part, I think that they would be interested in adopting if it came to that. I'm not saying it's going to, but
Right.
Yeah, but either way, I told them that my parents that adopted me are willing to, if anything comes to worse, like I prefer them to go over there to my adopted parents.
you're talking about Mr. Perez, Miguel,
Yeah.
and Jan and I did have a talk with him a few weeks ago, and we were going to have a follow-up conversation with him last week, and he kind of no-showed, so I don't know what that means. I know he's a busy guy. He sounded like a super nice guy. Jana, did he ever get in touch with you?
I have not heard anything from him.
Yeah. And he has our contact info. He has mine, I'm pretty sure. I know he has my cell phone number. He has yours, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yours. I'm not saying that doesn't mean he and his wife, your adoptive mom, aren't interested, Laura. It's not clear. Sometimes a little bit of a concern if we supposed to have a meeting and there's no follow through. I don't know what that means.
Okay.
I mean, you might want to reach out to him again.
Yeah.
Laura, do you want me to add that as the next step for you to reach out to him? Are you there, Laura?
What was that?
Oh, do you want me to add that as a next step for you to reach out to, I guess it's your, it would be your adoptive father, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's his name again?
Miguel Perez.
When do you think you'd be able to reach out to him by?
Today.
Today, okay. And just see if you can get in touch with Stefan or Jana.
Yeah.
Okay. And just so I'm clear, the permanency goal for this case is still return home, is that right?
I believe that's correct.
Reunification is the end goal.
Okay.
I just had a quick clarification question. In regards to foster parents intervening, what does that mean? I guess I'm confused around that.
It's phenomenal. It's fairly, it happens where they are a party, and that's why we were wondering if they had a right to be at the family team meeting, because they're interveners now. But apparently the FTM rules are that it's up to the parents, even with an intervener. But basically, they're interveners, so now they're now a the case, and they have a right to court reports and whatnot.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't know, I don't honestly know the answer to this question. Does that mean they also have a right to the report from today's meeting? Excuse me.
I think that they would as parties, because I think that like special respondents and everyone can get a copy of the report, and that's why I think we get the whole intro of like it's confidential but not private, or the other way around. I never get it right, but so I do think that they would be entitled to the report. But I think if we still have parents involved, they still get a say as to who, or if we have to split it, maybe if they wanted to be part of it just to speak about the children, maybe that's something that could happen. But I was pretty sure in past cases where this has happened that it's been like if the parents are still involved in such and they didn't want individuals to attend, they would either like split it or kind of divide things or just not have them attend at all. But obviously, I don't know. I could be wrong.
You're correct, Annie. It is a policy and a rule for family engagement, our team, that these meetings are specifically for the parents, and it is up to them if they don't want whoever to be at the meeting, including in this case, foster parents that intervened. And now they are able to get a copy of the report, but because they're not here, that copy of the report will need to come from the caseworker.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. I'm still sort of new, so I'm completely sure on all the policies. I just knew that, like Sam mentioned, it's kind of up to the parents who they would like at their meeting, since it's more geared towards them. But I wasn't sure about the report, so thank you for clarifying that, Sam.
And Brittany?
Yeah.
Just so you know, I've got a best practices court meeting in Adams County starting at 12. So, and I've got a couple things I got to do right before that. So I've only got like 3 or 4 more minutes. So.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know.
Our next hearing. I'm sorry. Our next hearing in this case, I know you always ask that, or it's always asked at the FTMs. It's December 16th at 8:30. I just want to make sure everybody has that in their calendar.
Okay. What type of hearing is that?
Review.
Okay. Thank you, Stefan. Is there anything is there anything that we need from Stefan before he leaves? Anybody can think of? Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Things might come up and we might have to add next steps to follow up at a later time. But if there's anything that on anybody's mind that they wanted to, I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Gianna, is there anything else? I know you mentioned that the psych eval was set up through, I believe, Lifelong, and then Stefan mentioned that the parent-child interactional was set up or was referred as well. Is there anything else in regard to treatment that we need to discuss today? Or Laura?
I don't think so. I mean, she's been compliant with everything that we've asked her to do. She's working with life skills. She's working with Tri-County Health. She's complying with her therapy. We just want to make sure through the psych eval that we are addressing all of her needs, and that make sure that we're not overlooking anything. And like Stefan said, the parent-child interactional should give us a good idea of the bond and attachment and any concerns.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention, Jam is right. We also discussed possibly a psych eval for mom. Again, I want to reiterate, this is just it's a tough case because the kids have a lot of needs and they're all so young, and the concerns about why the case opened. I acknowledge that Laura's doing a lot of positive things, and I greatly appreciate that. But also, the foster parents are doing a wonderful job with these kids also. So I want to point that out also. I just want to reiterate, I don't know where this case is headed. It's a tough one. There's no question. Thank you.
I had a question about the role of the children's father. I know that they've been talking with him in visits. Do we have how is he involved?
No, I don't think he is involved. They're talking about him at visits or with him?
With him.
No,
I know that, sorry, go ahead, Laura.
Yeah, they're talking about him. They're telling me they want to see their dad. They're like, Mom, I want to see Dad. I want to see Dad. But they're not talking to him.
Okay, so I just want to get this right. They're not talking to him. And are we talking about Mr. Hernandez? We're talking.
Yeah.
Okay, but they haven't spoken with him. They're just asking about him.
Yeah, because one time he called me on Facebook, and you know how on Messenger their picture pops up when they call. I know you guys seen it. And we saw him, and they were like, my dad. So that's what it's about. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I don't think he has much of a role. The answer to Pat's question, he hasn't he hasn't appeared at any hearings. I don't really know much about him. Pardon?
I talked to Janet to see if he could just send visits with the kids or stuff, but I never heard back.
So I just want to make sure that I understood Laura because I couldn't hear very well. During the visits with the kids, do they talk directly to their dad, or they're just talking about him?
They were telling me that they want to see my kids want to see their dad, but they never talked to him.
Okay. So I think that you had asked me once in a home visit if he would be able to see the kids via Zoom. And I said that, we could probably arrange that to where he could have a Zoom visit, but we didn't really go any further with that. So if that's something that he's interested in, then he's going to need to reach out to us.
But
Agreed.
he doesn't speak. He doesn't speak English.
Okay, we would have to, I could probably find another caseworker that's bilingual that would be able to speak with them. So I guess you can either give me his information, his contact information, or yeah, that would probably be the best way to go.
Okay.
Laura, do you have that where you could send it to Jana?
Yeah, I'll send it to her.
Okay. Are you going to send it in the email?
Yeah.
Okay. When would you be able to send that by?
Probably right now after this.
Okay.
Where does he live? Laura, do you know? Denver area? Or Texas?
No, in Mexico.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know.
And he's father to which children?
To my two youngest, but I was with him since Joshua was very small, so the kid was funny and Joshua.
Okay, and I am hearing a train. I'm not sure where that's coming from, but
That's my office, over by my office, Old Town Louisville. I apologize.
that's okay. No worries.
But listen, I've got to get going. But thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. And then I think you guys had talked a little bit earlier about visits getting increased a little bit. Laura, how often are your visits with the kids now? You might be muted if you're speaking.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
They're on Saturdays from 8 to 10. And then they're adding this Tuesday.
Okay, great. What time on Tuesdays?
4 to 6.
I have a quick question for Laura.
Yeah.
We arranged Tuesday evenings because at Popeyes you said that Mondays and Tuesdays were your days off. Since you have a new job, is your schedule going to change?
No, Tuesdays are still meant to be my day off.
Okay.
But I'm gonna look for a job in the morning before I can leave because I wanna work in the morning instead of the afternoon.
So you're saying that you'll still have Tuesdays off,
Yeah.
and do you still want to? Is the 4 to 6 p.m. still going to work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where are those visits? I think somebody mentioned they were in Colorado Springs. Is that right?
Yeah, at Griffith Center.
Okay. How are those visits going, Laura?
What was that?
How are the visits going?
They're going really good. Just make people be telling me that you miss me and stuff at the end. And last time Joshua cried.
Sorry, for some reason it's a little hard to hear you. I couldn't understand what you were saying.
I said they're going good, and we try to do some activities.
You cut out, I think. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys try to do some activities?
Yeah.
Okay. What kinds of things do you do?
Well, I take them some games, or I try to take last time I took them puzzles and then cards for they could learn the animals and stuff.
Okay. Awesome.
On the words and stuff like that.
Okay, great. And it's with all 4 of them, right?
What was that?
It's with all 4 of the children?
It's for all 4?
Yeah, it's with all of your children, all 4?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And how is that managing 4 little ones like that?
What do you mean?
Just is it difficult to manage all 4 of them at once, or does it go pretty well?
I think it goes pretty well.
Okay. Okay. Anybody have any questions about visits? Okay. So we can go ahead and just get updates on all the children. Laura, do you have any updates on the kids that you want to share from your visits? You might be muted. Oh, there you go.
Any updates?
Yeah, just how they're doing in general, overall, if they're struggling with anything or anything like that.
I think they're pretty good.
Okay. Gianna, do you have any updates that you want to share on the kids?
I just saw the kids on Saturday for a home visit. All 4 of them are doing really well in the foster home. They still attend therapies on hold on, let me get my notes. They have, all four of them have, Pat, you might have to back me up on this. I believe it's speech therapy and occupational therapy. Bonnie and Armani will begin physical therapy in December. And Bonnie and Joshua also have play therapy once a week. That's been kind of a bit of a struggle because the therapist doesn't really understand them. So we don't know, if there's been a lot of progress there yet. I think they've only had maybe 3 sessions.
Which two that have the play therapy?
Bonnie and Joshua, they're the oldest two.
Okay, great, thank you.
We also had a meeting with Bonnie's elementary school recently. She had been assessed for an IEP, and Laura consented to implementing the IEP. So that should begin shortly, now that we're back from Thanksgiving break. Armani's getting a little bit better. Sorry, what?
Oh, sorry. What grade is Bonnie in?
She's in kindergarten.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Armani still has some issues with swallowing, but that's improving. She still has to, she was kind of delayed in her ability to swallow, chew and swallow solid foods. So she's made some progress there. The food still needs to be soft. It needs to still be in very small bites, but she is improving.
I have question. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So my dad is gonna reach out to you guys tomorrow. To Stefan or to Jenna, I don't know, to who. But he said he's been working and stuff. And he's been getting out very late, like around 7 p.m.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said at the very beginning.
Is that
I thought my dad was gonna reach out to Jenna or Stefan. That he said that he hasn't been able to reach out because he's been getting out at 7 p.m. in the night.
Okay. Thanks for letting me know.
Now that we were speaking about earlier?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excuse me, Laura, this is Julie. While you're talking with him, or when you do, let him know that he is more than welcome. If you want, you can invite him to these family team meetings so that he kind of knows what's going on as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Julie. And Laura, you're definitely able to invite any supports that you have to the meeting. So that would be great if he could attend as well.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other updates on the children that they want to share? No? Okay, it sounds like they're all doing pretty well. Laura, do you have any questions on any of the kids that you wanted to ask?
Well, yeah, it comes when I know it's been a while. I had my kids, right? But before I used to put some type of pampers on them, and all of a sudden they became rashy to them. So I don't know if that's like something that happens or what's going on there. I don't know.
Yeah, the foster mom said that there are certain brands of diapers that the babies can wear. Pampers, Huggies, and Sam's Choice are all fine, but the Loves that you were providing have caused them to break out, and they're having an allergic reaction, and you're having an allergic ask that Love's diapers are not used.
that just like happens out of nowhere? Like, did it come actually out of nowhere, or how does that happen? That's what I want to know. Like
children can develop allergic reactions to different brands of diapers. She said that she had asked you once before not to use Luvs because of the reaction that they were getting, but it sounds like it's something that it's not something new. It's something that has happened previously as well.
But allergies you can get them at any point. You can also, they can go away. So they're kind of goofy that way, Laura.
No, I know, but I mean, like, when the kids were with me, I put those Pampers in whenever that happened. That's what I'm telling you. Like, can that like happen out of nowhere? That one time they're not allergic to it, and then and then another time they can be allergic to it. Like, that's what I wanted to know. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it can happen anytime. Same with foods.
Okay. Anything else on the children that we need to discuss? No? Okay. And then I just wanted to check in, Laura, on your supports. It looks like the last meeting we talked about your mom and dad that live in Texas, Claudia and Miguel. A couple of friends, Juan and Julie, and another friend, Ciro. And then you also mentioned a friend at work. I don't know if that's Ciro as well. Are those people still supports for you?
Yeah, but I don't know. They like I said, I don't know that they're like what can I call it? Coming up with like a lot of stuff. So probably I don't know. Probably that's what I'm thinking. Like getting a job in the morning and probably like getting the kids some daycare. You know.
That sounds like you're saying that they kind of have a lot going on right now. Is that right?
No, I mean they said they're still like up to it, you know. But I mean, it's on your guys' part, it's like a lot of like issues and a lot of concerns and a lot of like stuff that you guys are coming up with. So I'm like, okay, well, I just get a job in the morning, and if I get the kids back home, I could like try to apply for a daycare or something.
Okay. Yeah, and I was just asking if the people that I mentioned are still people that are positive people for you that you could talk to, or just any if they could help you out or anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Laura, do you count your mom as a support person for you also?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's her name? What was it? I'm sorry.
Guadalupe?
Jorge, did you get that?
Yeah,
I'm not
Guadalupe.
Sure it might be a Spanish name.
Guadalupe.
Guadalupe, ¿qué?
Okay. Thank you.
Garcia.
Okay, Guadalupe Garcia.
Garcia. Okay, thank you. Anyone else that you want to add as a support to you?
Not really.
Okay. All right. And then is there anything that you want to share with us regarding anything that's like very important to you? So any traditions that are important to you, values, beliefs, any just foods that are really important to your culture, or activities that you really value?
No, really. obviously we'll be able to see our kids on Christmas.
Jenna, do you have any?
Sorry, I just want to make sure that I heard her. Are you asking if you're going to get to see them on Christmas?
Yeah.
What does that fall on a Saturday this year? No, it's on a Friday. In all honesty, I doubt it, because there's going to be a lot of family stuff going on that day, but I will certainly talk to foster parents as well as Stefan and see what we can arrange, because we definitely want you to be able to have special time with the kids for the holiday.
Okay.
Jana, when do you think you could have talked to them by?
I'll reach out to both of them today.
Okay. All right. Is there any other barriers or worries that anybody wanted to make sure to discuss today? No? Anything else that anyone wanted to make sure to discuss that we didn't talk about? No?
I have a question. Are we still looking at changing visit centers? I know that came up a little bit ago. Jana, do you have any updates on that?
New Horizons did not have availability on the days that we needed, and Griffith was able to add a second visit. So for the time being, we're going to stay with Griffith and continue to explore other options.
So is that something that I can support in, and by calling places and seeing the availability?
You could. We would like to make sure that it's a bilingual therapist who can supervise. I know that Four Feathers was one that was mentioned, as well as let me get the name of it.
Kids Crossing?
Kids Crossing was one, and then there was another one, and I don't have the name in front of me. I can email that.
And what was the reason for switching visit providers?
We've had some issues with kind of a lack of communication with the therapist who supervises the visits, bringing the children out without wearing a mask, that kind of thing.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. I just wanted to make sure I had that right. Okay, do we want to go ahead and look at scheduling for the next meeting?
I actually had a question. Yeah. Earlier it was mentioned that the kids were still having a hard time transitioning after the visits, or I just wanted to clarify that. Like, how are the kids reacting after visits?
That has improved somewhat from what the foster parents told me on Saturday. Joshua was the one who was probably having the hardest time for a while, and he has actually improved in that area. And now it's Bonnie who seems to be acting out more with meltdowns and so forth. There's still some aggression between the kids after visits, but she said that it's not as severe as it was, even just a few weeks ago.
Thank you.
I think there were a few other things too, like, kids going after the visits, ending up being their diapers full wetting through their clothes, and just some things that, when all of those things were taken into account, kind of there was some feeling on the team like, well, maybe we should check into another site. Is that what you would say, Jenna?
Yeah, the kids were coming home with soaked diapers and pull-ups, like all the way through their clothes. So we were concerned that maybe that wasn't really something that was being addressed during the visits, and particularly before the end of the visit when they head home, because they've got about a 30-minute drive to get home, and they were having accidents in the car and that kind of thing.
Okay, anything else that's needed to discuss before we schedule? Okay. How far out does the team want to look for the next family team meeting like this? We can look at 60 days, see what we might have available. We can also look at 90 days. What does the team feel most comfortable with?
I'm okay with 90 days. I don't know if anybody else feels differently.
I would probably go. I know. I would probably go for 60, but I can see.
We can see what we have in 60 days. See if we can fit something in. It might be a little difficult, but we'll try. Laura, for your schedule, you mentioned that you'll probably have Tuesdays off, but I know you mentioned maybe getting a job in the morning, so I wasn't sure what would work best for your schedule for a meeting like that.
No, you could do Tuesdays. If anything changes, I'll let you guys know.
Okay. So a Tuesday morning?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, Sam, can you see what we might have in about 60 days on a Tuesday morning? I know it's kind of limited, so we might have to go a little further out.
It will be very limited, and we'll have to go further out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Brittany, correct? If I heard correctly, there aren't any days of the week that don't work.
No, it would need to be Tuesday more towards the morning, because that's her day off, and she has her visits in the afternoon.
So then the soonest I could mine would be February the 23rd at 11.
How does that work for everyone?
Yeah.
Did you say 11 a.m.?
Yeah, but that's not going to work. I mean, Annie, if Annie needs to be here, it's not, because she has a jury trial that day. So give me a second.
And for the Spanish interpreter, somebody will send us a request, right, in writing, or I mean an email?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to have to go into March. So the next availability would be March the 2nd. That's on a Tuesday. And there's a 9 o'clock and an 11 o'clock.
Annie said both of those work for her.
I'm good with either time.
And this is Julie. I can do either time as well.
Laura, did you say that works for you?
Yeah, fine.
Anybody have a preference on which the 9 or the 11? All right. Well, then, if there's nothing else, then that will conclude our meeting for today. Be sure to, when the report gets sent out, to take a look at those next steps. But thank you all so much for participating today, and have a great rest of your day.
Anything else from the interpreter?
I'm sorry?
Anything else from the interpreter?
No, I don't think so.